Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Deep Dive Daily. Okay, let's talk about something we all do. We stare at a food label and we have that mini panic attack, wondering if it's about to poison us. But what if I told you those dates are basically lying to you? Yep. Today, we're decoding the secret language on your food that could save you some serious cash and, help the planet. You know exactly the moment I'm talking about, right? Your hand is hovering over the yogurt, your brain is flashing all these warning signs, but then this little voice in your head is like, it's probably fine. We've all been there, totally paralyzed by that tiny printed date, wondering if we're about to make a huge mistake. Well, that moment of anxiety, when you multiply it across millions of homes every single day, it leads to a ridiculously huge problem. Just look at this number, 398,000 tons. It's like a mountain of perfectly good food that's getting thrown out. And that is how much food we could potentially save in the US every single year just by getting smart about what these labels really mean. So let's do it. Let's crack the code on the great date confusion. Okay, so this right here is the biggest secret of all. Are you ready? With just a few exceptions, that date on your food is not a safety deadline. It's not going to turn into poison at midnight. It's just a suggestion from the company for when the product is at its peak quality. The best flavor, the crunchiest crunch. Think of it as a tastes best by date, not a you're going to die by date. I mean, for most of human history, we didn't have these dates, right? People just used their senses, sight, smell, touch. And honestly, that's a skill we can totally get back. To do that, we got to learn the lingo they're throwing at us on all this packaging. All right, first up, best by or best before. This is the one you see all the time. This is literally just the manufacturer saying, hey, we think our chips have the absolute best, most satisfying crunch before this date. It is all about the experience of the food, not about its safety. Okay, this one? This is a total game changer. The sell-by date, it's not even for you. It's literally a note for the grocery store staff, telling them when to rotate their stock. Food is almost always perfectly good for days, sometimes even weeks after this date. So what's the takeaway? You can pretty much just ignore this one. For real. And finally, we've got use by. Now, this is the one to pay the most attention to. It's the closest thing we have to a real safety guideline, especially for things that can go bad kind of quickly, like fresh meat or potato salad from the deli. But even here, it's not always a hard and fast rule that it magically spoils on that exact day. So if these dates aren't really about safety, then why are they so early? What is the deal? Well, it all comes down to the manufacturer's playbook. It really is all about protecting the brand. They want you to eat their product when it tastes absolutely perfect, so you'll buy it again. They're also being super, super cautious to avoid any legal trouble. And here is the wildest part. For most foods in the US, there are no strict federal regulations for these dates. The companies are mostly just making it up themselves, so of course they're going to play it extra, extra safe. And all this means that a ton of perfectly good food is getting tossed out way, way too early. Which brings us to the ultimate food hack, the tool that we were all born with. It's time to start trusting ourselves again, people. This is your new superpower. I call it the 3-step sense check. Before you throw anything away, just do this. First, look at it. Use your eyes. Do you see any mold, any weird colors, a slimy film? No? Awesome. Step 2. The smell test. Your nose knows what's up. If it smells sour or off or just wrong, then it's out. If it passes both of those tests, and only if it passes both, you can do a tiny little taste test. Your senses are almost always going to be more accurate than the date on the box. And once you start doing this, you'll be shocked at what you can save. Canned goods, they can last for years past their date. Dry pasta, rice, and get this, honey, they're all practically immortal. And eggs, if you store them right, are often good for up to 5 weeks. Frozen food, as long as it stays frozen, it's safe pretty much indefinitely. Insane, right? Now let's be smart about this. There are, of course, a few exceptions. You always want to be extra careful with things like deli meats, fresh fish, and especially infant formula. That is actually one of the only products where the date is a strict federal rule and it's for nutrition and safety. So with these, it's better to trust the label. So by making this one small shift in how we think in our own kitchens, we can actually have a massive impact. It's not just about saving a tub of yogurt. It's about pushing back against a super wasteful system. I mean, this really sums it all up, doesn't it? We already have the best tools for the job. We need to retrain ourselves to use them. And when we do that, we save money, we help the planet, and we take back a little bit of control from a really confusing and kind of broken system. So I'm going to leave you with a challenge. What's one food item you're going to rescue from the trash this week using your new superpowers? Drop it in the comments below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this, share it around, and subscribe for more. See you tomorrow at the same time.